Hi and welcome to today's video. I am Claire and today, with the help of my co-host Othello, we are going to be discussing the pros and cons of the all-time question, tarot or oracles. Which one's best for you? So the tarot was created in 1909 by Mr. Waite and Miss Smith. They created the deck. Waite actually gave Smith a really raw deal. He commissioned her to illustrate all 78 cards, but didn't give her any percentage of the profits. And this became one of the biggest selling card decks of all time. It is still the #1 selling deck of all time. And it has got 78 cards, 22 which are major arcana, the rest are minor arcana, and the minor arcana is broken up into 4 suits: the cups, the wands, the swords, and the pentacles. Now, they all come with different meanings and rules, and there's different stories. The Fool's Journey, which the major arcana is a story of someone's lifetime. It is strict. Each card, this is the world, each card has the same meaning across the decks, and they're full with different symbols and little images, and they're very cleverly designed. But every single tarot deck will be based on this deck. I've also got another one of my favorite tarot decks. This is the Modern Witch. And it's still similar. It still has the same imagery. So let me see if I can find the world. So if we're going with the Modern Witch tarot deck, you can see that's the traditional Rider-Waite and that's the new Modern Witch. So it's the author's take on that card. So, and same with the world. And then, so there are certain things that have to be in each card to make it a tarot card and to make it represent the world. So that's the tarot. Now, I've worked a lot in witch shops and crystal shops over the years, and I don't usually recommend the tarot to beginners, just because it can be overwhelming with the amount of cards you have to learn and the structures of it and the history. And also the tarot deck has kind of a connotation. It has a reputation. And I find a lot of kids who are coming in looking for a deck probably don't have their parents' permission, and you don't want to bring that into it. Having said that, I'm obsessed with my tarot deck. I cannot live without it. This is something that I'm obsessed with. It's my prized possession. I use it every single day for myself and with clients. But again, the tarot is structure that you have to respect if you're going to use it. Now, the difference between oracle and tarot cards is that oracle cards have no rules. There's no structure that they have to go through. There is nothing that makes it an oracle deck. There are no rules. It's all 100% up to the author's imagination. So to show you a couple of different ones, I've got this Celtic Spirit Oracle by Nicola McIntosh. And they're like a fae. Oh my god, that's upside down. I use these so they'll be upside down, so sorry. Absolutely stunning deck. I highly recommend this deck. But then you've got the Mist of Avalon by Rose Insira, which is about Camelot. And again, different amount of cards to the Celtic, completely different imagery, completely different meanings. And then another one is by Rose Campbell. This is the Oracle of Light, I'm pretty sure. Work Your Light. So again, completely different looking, completely different meanings. Most oracle decks will have the name of a card and like a brief meaning, and then more of the meaning in the deck. Oracle cards, there is 100% up to the author what they want to create, from imagery to meanings to messages. These are the cards that I usually recommend to people who are starting, just because it's a really good way to learn how to shuffle and put your intention in and ask questions and kind of get to know how cards work without the added pressure of learning the structure of tarot. So the biggest myth that I want to address when it comes to choosing oracle or tarot is actually not about the cards themselves. It's about whether or not you can buy them or you have to be gifted a deck. I 100% do not believe that you have to be gifted a deck. In fact, you can see behind me, I have a lot of decks. This is only like a quarter of my collection. I have way more spread around my house and in my work bag and in my office. There's heaps. They're everywhere. I have been given decks and I have bought a lot of decks. I find that the decks I've bought, I'm more connected to. I find it very hard, and this is just me, to connect to a deck that's been gifted to me. Mainly just because at the time when I'm in a shop buying a deck or I'm ready in the market for a new deck, something will jump out and call to me, and that's what I really need at that time. Or when I'm given a deck, it might be from someone who I don't know very well and they don't really know what subject matter I'm in, they don't really know what authors I like and things like that. There's only one deck that I've actually been gifted and that I've felt any connection to, and that is my tarot deck. That is my Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, and that's quite a really beautiful story, which I will get into another time if you would like to hear it. Then I bought the Modern Witch tarot deck, and I feel really, really connected. Another deck that I feel really, really connected to, a tarot deck that I use constantly. This was the first deck I ever bought myself, like tarot deck, and it's the Wildwood Tarot. This is my favorite deck other than my Rider-Waite deck. It's probably my most sacred deck. It has traveled everywhere since 2011 when I bought it. It is my baby. I felt a really big pull to buy that when I saw it in the shop. I think I bought it from Spellbox in Melbourne. And that's the deck I use in all my magic rituals and fae rituals. It's 100% personal choice. Whether you choose a oracle deck that really calls to you because you like the artwork, or you like the author, or you like the subject, or you've always been fascinated by the tarot and you want to start with the tarot or get a tarot deck, it's 100% personal choice. If you are getting a tarot deck, the first deck I 100% believe that you should get is the Rider-Waite, because every other deck is based on this. So once you get to know this deck, once you get really intimate and you know the details and you really get to know its personality, yes, decks have their own personalities, then you can really go from there and explore the different tarot decks, because you will know the basics and the fundamentals. I just also would like to mention that no matter what deck you buy or what you go for, it's not really about the deck, it's about you and your connection to the deck and your connection with the universe and the power. It's your intention and your energy that is making the deck work. Having said that though, there is some times when you will get blocks about decks, mental blocks. Just put them aside and wait for them to talk to you. I cannot tell you the amount of times I have bought a deck and because it the shop, got home, went to open it and like, ugh, why did I buy this? I don't like this. And I've put it on my shelf, and then a couple months later it calls out to me and I have read it and it was spot on. Things come into our life for like different reasons and at different points, so be aware of that. Don't get disheartened if a deck doesn't talk to you, you can't connect it. It's not just your deck for that moment. Some guidelines that I like to give every single person who buys a new deck. It's my personal guidelines. This is what I do when I get a new deck, but it's 100% up to you. We're going to pretend that we bought a new tarot deck and come on this journey together. So what I do when I bring the deck home, I will take it out all of its packaging, the plastic, and then I separate the box, the cards, and the booklet, and then I will cleanse them. I recommend cleansing the way that you are comfortable with. And then I will buy or get a little tarot bag. Now in this little bag, I keep some selenite, which helps cleanse the cards once I'm finished using them. And I also have a little bag of herbs. In this little bag, can we zoom in on it? Can we focus on it? I have garnet chips, rosemary, fennel, and lavender with a bay leaf. It smells amazing. I keep it in my little bag, just help cleanse my deck when they're done, and it keeps them nice and fresh and before I use them. And I'll put my cards in the bag and then I'll put this under my pillow and I will sleep with them. And I'll sleep with them depending what I feel 1 or 2 nights. This is because when we're sleeping, our subconscious lets down our walls and understand and connect to our energy and know what energy to look for when we're using them. That's just my personal preference. You don't have to, but I do that. And then what I will do, especially when I'm getting to know a new deck, I will pull a card each day and then I will journal about that card. I will do this for about 4 to 6 weeks just to get to know the cards and get to know the energy of the deck. And then I'll start doing spreads. And usually with a deck, I'll start with doing simple spreads like a 3-card past, present and future spread, and then I'll work my way up. I don't really like getting a new deck and jumping into a really complicated spread for a very difficult question, just because I believe that I have a relationship with these cards, and I wouldn't ask a new boyfriend or a new friend to give me advice in a really difficult emotional situation if I've just met them. I'm building a relationship, I'm building trust with these cards, so I'm going to take it slow. So definitely journal, definitely sit with them, study the cards, and this is my number one rule. If you buy like an oracle deck, do not read the book. The book is the author's opinion on what they mean. It is an opinion and it might not work for you. But if you look at the card and it's the hair and you've got the little hints of what it could mean to you, and there's like different options. But I would sit and I would look at that card and sit with it in my journal and go, there's a little moon, there's the hair. To me, it's as below as above, and it's about balance. This card really represents balance to me and movement, and the white hair also represents time, so it's a movement through time, probably just reminding me to be more present. That's what I get from that card. The book might be completely different. Sorry about my dog barking. But if you get a card and you're not sure, then look at the book. Get to know your cards and your personal relationship with the cards. It'll be more potent. Your readings will be more potent and spot on if you build that relationship. Really be conscious of grounding yourself and cleansing your cards and cleansing your space and protecting yourself. And last but not least, have fun with it. If you'd like, I'll do a more in-depth video on how I read the tarot and how I read the oracle and go into that way. But really, just have fun with it. Like, honestly, don't take it seriously. It is a serious thing, but don't take it too seriously. And just have fun with it. And welcome to the divination circle. Like, welcome. It's a beautiful place to be, and it's a beautiful tool to explore. I know I've made the tarot sound a little bit complicated, and it is, but once you start getting into it and you start reading it and reading into it and understanding the symbolisms and exploring what a card means, every card has the most beautiful positive meaning. It's us, when we're reading it, who take the negative, and I find that a lot of people take upon the negative before they even look for the positive, but every card has a positive and a negative. It's a yin and yang balance. So, in summary, it doesn't matter if you start with the oracle or tarot. You don't have to be gifted a deck. Buy what calls to you, and really just enjoy it. Just choose a deck that calls to you and that you feel comfortable and that you're excited to use and that you enjoy. So if you found this video informative or you enjoyed it or just liked hanging out, please press like and subscribe if you'd like to, and ding the bell. It really does help me out, and I really appreciate it, since this is my first little foray into YouTube. So thank you, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you, and have a lovely day. Blessed be.